in the different time zones, in the different countries, in the different continents, wherever you are. We extend you a very hearty welcome to yet another very powerful webinar in our series, Making Education Relevant. आइए शिक्षा को प्रासंगिक बनाएं. Today is the 246th webinar of ours, and this is also available for all of us live on the YouTube. If you go on ICSI, International Chamber for Service Industry, or just log in Dr. Gulshan Sharma, you'll be able to have this particular program live telecast coming world over. So as people are in different time zones, in the different countries, in the different continents, while extending a warm welcome to all of you, we hope you are safe, you're taking care of your health, your wellness, your family, your neighbors, your community, your society, your civilization, whomsoever you are in touch with, and you're taking care of all of them. This evening, we have got a very distinguished guest with us. We have got Mr.Ameya Vanjari, who is head of the technology and innovations, Tata STRIVE, that's a Tata Consultancy Services. So ladies and gentlemen, we extend him a very hearty welcome. And like every day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 4 days are dedicated to the youth empowerment strategies. Today being a Tuesday, we are going to have 6 girls also with us from the world over who will be sharing their vision, their expertise, and their thought process about a minute or so after we have got the views from our distinguished speaker of the evening. With these words, let me quickly roll over some of the slides so that we all are on the common frequency. Ladies and gentlemen, our chamber, ICSI, International Chamber for Service Industry, having come into existence way back in 1994, is dedicated to services sector. From 1994 to 2003, there used to be a small group, about 6 to 8,000 to 10,000 people getting together on a common platform, coming from abroad to India during their holidays, generally between 16th of December to 15th of January. That is the 1 month when it is extremely cold in the European Union, Canada, America, Latin America, and other places. And of course, that time Australia was not that popular, and Indians also had not started going that much in a bulk. It became more popular. It became more with the population 1994 onwards. So initially, when we started with 6 to 10,000 people, and it started moving up, and we touched somewhere around 25,000 people. By that time, 2003, we made a proposal to then the Honorable Prime Minister of India, and there it was discussed and deliberated, and he was of the opinion, let this vision carry forward, because this was the confluence of the Punjabis, basically from Canada, from UK, from Latin America, and a couple of other countries. So he said, let's start parallel with this Bharatiya Parvasi Divas also. And that was the birth in 2003. And this particular festival, which was going on from 1994 onward for the non-resident Indian, it used to be on 13th of January, which is coinciding with the Lohri festival of India. So he told, why not to have Bharatiya Parvasi Divas on 9th of January, because that is the day Mahatma Gandhi ji came from South Africa to India. So ladies and gentlemen, thereafter vibrant Gujarat, vibrant Karnataka, vibrant Maharashtra, vibrant Rajasthan, vibrant Telangana. So the whole country is vibrant, and at the same time 30 million non-resident Indians plus abroad in different countries. So we are focusing on services sector. We are grateful to Mr. Dinanath Khulkarji, with whom we started this particular program on 30th of September, Tata Consultancy Services, the Vice President, the Global Head, and thereafter we got across to Jagdish Chaudhary ji, Head of the Special Initiative Analytics and Insight, and then of course, ladies and gentlemen, as you all remember, last week we had 3 distinguished guests, and yesterday you had Professor G.S. Mani. And last week we had Pradeep Lokhandeji, Satyajit Juglekarji, and Ajinkya Kulkarniji. So all of them, they gave their wonderful, valuable inputs. And yesterday, Professor Mani was mind-blowing when he gave the valuable inputs, what exactly is to be done, how to empower the education system. Now we all understand during pandemic, the thought processes are affected, business is affected, physical and mental health is affected, and the main part of the universe, because 1.86 billion children are at present away from the world over. So, ladies and gentlemen, when we talk about global education collaboration, because ICSI, International Chamber for Service Industry, during this pandemic in services sector is focusing on making education relevant. How to reach out every child, every educator, every teacher, every counselor, wherever they are, whether school education, higher education, technical education, vocational education, we are trying to reach them. And that's the global education collaboration. And that is Vasudhaiv Kutumbakam. The world, the entire world is one family. Heartiest congratulations to Prime Minister of India and the Education Minister of India and all the stakeholders, those are in education. 29th of July 2020 will go down the history because the new education policy being announced, once it gets implemented, it will have a wonderful, wonderful changes in the entire pedagogy, andragogy, innovation, collaboration, creativity, whatsoever you can think on this planet Earth, artificial intelligence and coding, and then children from the sixth class onward going for vocational skills, competencies, going to corporate sector, interface, practical knowledge. And the other day, Asha Bhosle when she rung up the Honorable Prime Minister and the cabinet, and she told, I'm so happy now the science child can learn, the music also. And the commerce child can take on fashion designing. So it's a wonderful journey. And now we all are working in the direction for the implementation of the policy. At this point of time, during pandemic, we got inputs from 150 countries, and there is a great concern. There's going to be a huge crisis of water, consumable water, drinkable water, usable water, whatever we can think of. And you will be very happy now with our senior advisor from this coming Friday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we are with Tata Consultancy. And from Friday onward, we are starting a program from Singapore all the way with our senior advisor. And our journey is starting every Friday. You will have the global collaboration and innovation and creativity, what all is to be done in the water conservation. So don't forget to join us on coming Friday on the water safety and water conservation. Women empowerment is one of the main prime focus during this pandemic, because whenever you are giving an education to a male child, it's individual. But whenever you are educating female child, it's not only one girl child, it's the subsequent so many generations, because she's a daughter also, she's a wife also, she's a mother also, she's a grandmother also, she's a relative also. She got to be taking the confluence of the entire future generations. So women education, women empowerment, and women hand holding is very, very important for all of us. Our chamber is live every day from morning 9 till evening 9 o'clock, 12 hours, where we have got a beaming going all the way to Mongolia, Central Asia. We are going to Middle East. We are going to Latin America, all the countries, wherever they need a hand holding. We are having a beaming being done from India. And that is on, we had set up India's first finishing school way back in 1994 for services sector, where you talk about soft skill and hard skill etiquettes, manners, gesture, body language, articulation, communication skills, personality enhancement, image management, whatsoever you can think of it. This is the concept which we build up all the non-resident Indians together in India, and that's the way. And now Sector Skill Council, with them 38 Sector Skill Council, NSDC, and Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship, Government of India. Wonderful. And be happy, all the youth, because this program is for you, dedicated to education. Don't forget, 26th of October onwards. 26th of October onward, immediately after Dashera from Monday, there's a 1 month program with the Media Entertainment Sector Skill Council, radio, television, theater, music, films, animation, whatsoever you can think of in media entertainment industry. We are going to have 1 month journey for all the children, because ultimately what is the purpose of education? And we got to understand, what does our youth want? What do they think? So ladies and gentlemen, this is the Media Entertainment Sector Skill Council. I've already told you we will come live with them from 26th every evening 5 p.m. Every Saturday, we have got a special program. Do remember 11th of September, 1893, 127 years back, somebody went with this turban, these clothes, all the way to Chicago. And one sentence, and the entire universe got up from their chair. Sisters and brothers of the universe. And that's, ladies and gentlemen, Swami Vivekananda. When he started and he spoke over there in Chicago, what a beautiful notes which came from his side to the entire universe we all got to understand. And then Saturday, immediately after Vivekananda's program, we have got for you global wellness, Ayurveda, yoga, meditation, naturopathy, nutrition, organic, positive thinking, positive living, positive dreaming, positive talking, all the time. Positivity is very important. Then comes Sunday morning. We take you all the way to Woodbury University, United States, California, Burbank, where Professor Satinder Dhiman talks about what is the relevance of Shrimad Bhagavad Gita in today's MBA. That means your management education, engineering education, your creativity education, and whatsoever you want to talk about. He talks to us, and each and every example, when he gives you, you understand what exactly is happening in the IIMs and what's happening in the management education every Sunday morning, 9:30 to 11. And he also quotes to us from the principal Upanishad along with Shrimad Bhagavad Gita. And thereafter at 3 p.m. on Sunday evening, Indian Standard Time, we take you to 650 million population, Myanmar, Cambodia, Laos, Singapore, Malaysia, Thailand, Indonesia, Philippines, Brunei, and Vietnam, all the 10 countries together, what India has got in business, in education, in skills, in tourism, in research, in innovation, in wellness, and micro, small, and medium enterprise. And our special focus is what India's Prime Minister calls is Ashtalakshmi. So northeast part of India and the entire ASEAN together, that is the way we move on. So ladies and gentlemen, and Sunday last program we bring to you is micro, small, and the medium enterprise. The CMD of the NSIC, National Small Scale Industries Corporation, under the aegis of Micro, Small, and the Medium Enterprise Ministry. We have got Rabindranath ji taking care of this particular program. And every Sunday, we bring a special program, your startup, your stand-up, your entrepreneurship, your skills, whatever you want to do, anything you need for hand-holding, that comes Sunday evening, the last program. So ladies and gentlemen, here is the complete journey, what we are talking about. Thereafter, this is the research from our chamber from 25th of March onwards. Three basic things. The golden triangle is no more Delhi, Agra, Jaipur. Forget for some time. No luxuries. Live with the basics. B2B should not be business to business. Think about back to basics of life. Your basic food, your basic health, and your basic education. That part is very important. Skill yourself the best possible way. Whatsoever your mind can conceive and believe it can achieve, ladies and gentlemen, let's get together, all of us, making education relevant. We have got 6 kiddies this evening with us under the Women Empowerment. We extend them a very hearty welcome and special thanks to Colonel Casey Manon, the regional advisor for all of us, principals, counselors, teachers, directors, vice chancellors, whosoever is interested to get their kids onto this particular program. So we would listen to these children. I'm going a little fast today because today is a very, very special day. We have got a very special guest this evening, but at the same time, let me share with all of you, today the Honorable Prime Minister of India, Shri Narendra Modi ji, is going to address the nation at 6 p.m. live, coming on all the television channels. Now, we extend a very hearty welcome to Mr. Ameya Vanjari-ji, Head Technology and Innovation, Tata STRIVE. And ladies and gentlemen, while extending him a very warm welcome, I wish to share with all of you, Mr. Ameya is the Head of the Technology and Innovation at Tata STRIVE, a Tata Group initiative to develop skills towards employability of the youth. Very important. And this is something where we talk about your skills. Every child got to get the skill now if you want to be successful in life. And in one lifetime, now the time is gone when you have done the graduation and masters and you can pick up one job and you retire from there only, and final party is given to you, one wristwatch is given to you, one memento is given to you, your pension is given, and you go. In one lifetime, you will change 6 to 7 jobs. All the youngsters got to understand that. And ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Vanjari is responsible for shaping the digital capabilities to deliver value for the organization and its ecosystem. He has established and led STRIDEA, an initiative to establish a culture of innovation within the organization. Some innovations being piloted, including artificial intelligence. Everybody is talking about gamified mobile assessments. We have written a letter to about 150 corporate offices and companies. Those are at present having the games being built up. Why don't you build positive games which children can enjoy right from the school education? Because music and gamification both are going to play very important role in future. Last 8 years, our chamber is doing a lot of research on that. Virtual reality solutions for audits, chatbot based learning, and the flipped classrooms. That's very interesting. All areas which are listed over here is so relevant to today's education system. Prior to his present role, Mr. Ameya led the business and the IT architecture consulting practices at Tata Consultancy Services. As a consulting practice leader, he established a unit and grew the practice to a global term of over 150 consultants working in the intersection of business and technology. Passionate in domains of technology, architecture, and design, he has a keen interest in evolution of enterprises and society. He has deep experience in retail, banking, financial services, and education industries. He has a global exposure by virtue of traveling and working with customers in over 15 countries, specialties, digital strategy, transformation, IT strategy, in enterprise architecture, retail, financial services, technology-driven business, and innovation. What a wonderful inputs, credentials, and a background. It's a proud privilege to have Mr. Ameya Vanjari with us this evening. We extend him a very, very hearty welcome, and we request him to come to the right frontal seat and take on today's presentation. At the age of 72, I extend you a very warm welcome as a soldier, as a corporate, coming from the army background, coming from the tourism background, coming from the education background. I extend you on behalf of ICSI, International Chamber for Service Industry. We extend you a very warm welcome. Pleasure to have you this evening with us. Thanks for sparing your valuable time. Initially, let's hear something from your side, your journey. Then we would like to move on to the skills for the youth, and then we will take on other areas. With these words, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Ameya ji.
Thank you, Doctor. I hope you can hear me well. Thank you for the wonderful introduction. Thank you for the opportunity to share some of my thoughts with the global audience who are with us today. It's a privilege to be here, frankly. To share my journey, I think you have covered my journey really well in the introduction that you have done, sir. So yes, I have. What is not there on the slide on the profile is I also at one point in time I was extremely keen to serve our nation by joining the armed forces. And I went to Bhopal twice for the selection, the SSBs, and I could not get through. And after that, I completed my engineering and joined TCS. And since then, for the last 22 years, been with the Tata Group. Last 6 years, I have had the opportunity to work with Tata STRIVE, which is an amazing skill development, is an amazing space where I could contribute with some of my experiences on working with technology towards an important agenda item on nation building for the country. So feel extremely privileged and happy to have had an opportunity, if not armed services, at least with skill development, to work with an important topic for the country. So I do, in the next, say about 30 minutes, I can share some of my thoughts. With your permission, if I can share my screen and start. So I'm going to share the computer audio as well. Yes. At any point in time, if the audio or the screen is not coming through, do let me know. So I'm just starting my presentation. Uh, I spoke to Jagdish, whose photograph was flashed earlier, and to you, Doctor. I thought it would be good to quickly, in 30 minutes, cover maybe 4 topics or 3 topics largely. One, I'm going to start with why skill development is important in the country. This may be a repetition to many of you who may already know this, but I apologize for that. But there may be some audience and students who may not have a holistic perspective of why skill development is important. So I thought it would be good to start with that. Then give a quick 10-15 minutes overview of what work we are doing at Tata STRIVE and who are we. And then I do want to spend some maybe 5-10 minutes on technology innovation. Some of them were already listed, so I would just give a flash some of the technology innovations that we have done at Tata STRIVE, and all these are relevant for the overall education sector in the country and worldwide. So some of the ideas, so the reason I thought it would be good to share some thoughts is these could trigger some ideas with the audience globally. And then I would summarize some takeaways towards the end of the session. So moving on with why is skill development important for the country, I thought it is extremely pertinent to just flash 4 questions. And if this was an interactive session where I could get responses from the audience, I would basically ask for responses. But probably I would request all the audience to think about these questions and have answers in your mind as to for every 100 children that start schooling in our country, in India, how many of them actually end up taking admissions into higher education. And this higher education is after 12th in graduation or proper vocational skilling, whether it is the hospitality course or other courses. The second one, I'm just going to read out the questions and then give the information or give the answers to it. Is of every 100 Indians who are at an employable age typically by government norms 15 to 60, but ideally 18 to 60, how many of them are gainfully earning today, gainful livelihood? How many of them have gainful livelihood? That's the second one. The third one is of those who have gainful livelihood, how many of them are in the formal sector? Formal sector is known to the government. They are paying taxes, either GST if they have their business, or they are paying direct taxes, or at least registered with a PAN card, and then have the government is on the know-how of the individual working. And of the 100 who are working, how many are in the vocational areas? Vocational areas is a very broad term. This covers the service industry, which the organization represents, but also the manufacturing and other industries. So it could be drivers, it could be chefs, it could be hospital support staff, plumbers, electricians, hairdressers. Of 100 Indians who work in vocational areas, how many have a certificate? So if an electrician comes to you, or if a plumber comes to you, or a chef who is cooking in a fairly good restaurant, how many of them have formally trained in their vocations? Friends across the globe, the answers are not very encouraging, and the answers are revealing why skill development is important. If you look at the first one, only 26% of those who enter schooling actually end up doing higher education. Only 50% of those of all the Indians who are in the age group of 18 to 60 actually work and earn their living. And therefore, there is a huge 50% of the population who is available, who is not employed. There is 75% of them who do not get higher education. And when we look at the informal sector, only 7% of the 50% are actually in the formal sector. The rest, 93%, are in the informal sector. And of those who work in vocational areas, only 7% have formal training. The rest 93 have either learned by watching, learned by doing, learned by failing, essentially, learned by delivering services of poor quality first and then improving over a period of time. And those are the challenges that we have. That's just a sneak peek of the challenges that we have in our country, or the opportunity that we have on our hand, which is the space that we are working on. The second message also is about the skills that are required are significantly changing. If you look at, this is a graph that shows how the labor force participation, now this is the 50% population that's working, how 50% of them are essentially were in the agriculture sector. Now this is going down significantly over the years. It is at 40% now, and this will further slide down in the coming years. What is increasing is definitely the service sector, which is the light gray at the top, moving from 25 to 32, 33% right now, and the hard industry, which is the manufacturing, which is also increasing at a decent pace. But my dear friends, the skills that are required across these industries, be it agriculture, be it service, be it manufacturing industry, are significantly changing. I share that when I reflect back on my own family, my grandfather basically worked with the government as a sub-registrar, and all his life he was registering either land agreements or marriages, or basically registering in a government office, and the process did not change for the lifetime. As doctor rightly shared at the start of the seminar, that you will get a medal at the end of your retirement and you are off, but your skill requirement has not changed. That was my grandfather. My father, who again worked with the government, was in the tax department, but the tax department underwent some automation just towards his retirement. So he had to learn computers, he had to learn new laws, but towards the end of his career. And look at me, I have only worked for 22 years, and in the 22 years I have already serviced different industries, different countries, learned different skills. The technologies which I started in the technology industry have completely changed. The technologies today are very, very different. So skills that are required in any industry significantly changing at a rapid pace with technology and automation. And on the other hand, unemployment at the early age, the youth of the country, 18 to 25, significant unemployment exists. So 25% of the youth is unemployed. And this unemployment, mind you, friends, the way government tracks it is basically the ones who want to work. So there might be others who have not registered or who don't want to work. So the unemployment within the 18 to 25 may be significantly higher. And this is the population which, if skilled and employed, could help the country immensely, would help GDP, would help, would basically take a potential youth who can be a nuisance to the society to a potential youth who is gainfully earning for the country if we skill them. So this is the background and the context why skill development is a significantly important agenda for the country. And we, Tata STRIVE, it was in this background, the concept of Tata STRIVE was formed about 7 years ago. This was in 2014 when the plans of Tata STRIVE were drawn up. It was only a concept on paper that Tata Group needs to do something of significance in the skill development space. It was a brainchild of Mr. Ramadurai, who was then an advisor to the Prime Minister on skill development, was the chairman of NSDC and NSDA. And he basically said that we should do something, a concerted effort across the group. And so Tata STRIVE was born, and in the last 5 years, ladies and gentlemen, we operate across the country, various centers which offer various courses, which have skilled over a lakh youth, and therefore over a lakh families have benefited from this initiative. I thought I would start with a small introductory video and then come back to explaining some of the capabilities that we have. So quick video on who we are and what we have done in the last few years.
मेरे आदमी का पगार एकदम कम था, तो वो अभी मुझे उनका रास्ता देखने की जरूरत नहीं है। पगार कब आएगा, मैं कब खर्चा करूंगी, तो मैं अभी खुद का कमा के मेरा खर्चा खुद कर सकती, और मेरे बच्चों का पढ़ाई का भी फीस मैं खुद भर सकती। अभी मेरे पैर पे मैं खड़ी हूँ, अभी कुछ भी करने की हिम्मत मैं अभी कर सकती। तो ये सब मेरा ये टाटा स्ट्राइव की वजह से हो गया, नहीं तो मैं खुद को पहचान नहीं सकी। 10 साल इधर पुणे में आई मगर कुछ नहीं कर पाई। मैं खाली घर में बैठने का जितना पैसा मिलता उतने में ही खाने का इतना ही करती थी। इधर आई जब से मेरे में इतना चेंज आ गया कि मैं खुद 2 पैसा कमाने लग गई, और अच्छा अभी कमाती, बच्चों का पढ़ाई करती, सब मेरा अच्छा होता। इसलिए मैं बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद देती हूँ टाटा स्ट्राइव को। थैंक यू सो मच टाटा सर।
So friends, as you saw that we have scaled up over the last 6 years, present across the country, over 150 centers. When we started, however, about, as I said, 6 years ago, and we defined our vision and our goal. This goal of impacting 1 million by 2022 seemed very tall. Rather, it was alarming. It was disturbing. We have anxiety at that point in time, but happy to inform that we are well underway to achieve this in the next few years. The target community that we work with is essentially youth who come from disadvantaged communities, disadvantaged backgrounds. It could be socio-economically disadvantaged, educationally disadvantaged, and that is the target audience that we work with. The three key pillars of our success, we believe, are: one is methodology, the way we have standardized the process, way we have standardized the systems put in place, the way we have set standards for ourselves, have gone a long way in helping us scale. Pedagogy, we focused a lot, we spent a lot of time, and I was happy to see the global finishing school that Dr. Sharma shared. Similarly, I think the life skills, the soft skills, the communication skills are absolutely essential for every individual to succeed in any industry today. And we spent a lot of time in designing a pedagogy that is designed for the youth of the country. And the third thing is technology. I will spend some time on these three pillars, but what we have achieved so far is on the right of the screen, which is 5 lakh have been impacted, or 500,000 have been impacted over the last 6 years of operations. 80% of them, happy to inform, that have been placed. 80% of those who are directly certified by us have been placed. So out of 500, there have been about 1.5 who have been directly certified by us. And out of those 1.5 lakh or 150,000, 80% of them have been placed in either employment or entrepreneurship. And across our networks of centers that we run, plus those that our partner runs, and the states that we cover. So this just gives a broad spectrum of what we have achieved. I do want to spend some time on this slide, which speaks about our various models. How do we do this impact? How have we delivered this impact? Our impact is delivered through this. Is two. First of all, our impact is two-pronged. One, we certify, place, or enable livelihood for the youth of our country directly through our centers or our partner centers. But we also believe that it is important to help others who are in skill development. So we help others who are in other organizations who run skill development programs. We help them by either running faculty development programs, or sharing our content, or sharing our technology, or even the research and our learnings that we have. So our impact is twofold: directly to the youth, and indirect, or we call it systems ecosystem strengthening, which is by either sharing content, assets, knowledge, or even helping their faculty do better. Uh, the way we deliver it through our own centers, we have large centers, we have centers within industry. So some of our Taj hotels, we operate the centers, the skill development centers within the hotel or premises itself. We have centers within colleges. We have a partner network. We have about 15 odd partners who also offer the courses that we do as partnering with us. So their centers offer Tata STRIVE courses. And we work, there are centers who are within our community. So these community centers are also right from Kashmir, that is Uri, to Uttarakhand, which was flood affected, to Chennai, near the coastal areas which were affected. So there are centers to reach the unreached population as well. So centers within community. Courses that we offer across, again, formal sector and the informal sector, healthcare, hospitality, banking, retail, BPO, even manufacturing, auto related courses, but also in the informal sector, agri and agri-allied, apparel, and self-employment. As I said earlier, a good 93% of our workforce is in the informal sector. So this is a sector that cannot be ignored, and we have embarked on various courses around this as well. The three pillars, as I said, pedagogy, methodology, and technology. To start with pedagogy, as I said, life skills is extremely important. And by life skills, I just don't mean ability to communicate, but also hard cognitive skills like financial literacy and digital literacy are also important life skills today. So those are there, but also deep skills like values, which largely are shaped by upbringing, but you can always have interventions to strengthen the values for employability. So values are important, ability to be mindful when you are actually working, not get carried away when a customer yells at you, if you're a retail associate, store associate. So how do you actually respond to situations? Those are important life skills that we cover in our courses. Our entire courses are designed for experiential learning. They are not a classroom setting, and they are definitely not just a one-side communication. It is extremely interactive, extremely experiential learning that happens in our centers. We are the faculty in the class is not a trainer. The faculty in the class is only a facilitator, helping the youth learn by asking pertinent questions, by asking them to do activities and do projects. That's the way, that's the approach, pedagogy that we have adopted. Some of the feedback is kept here, but I'm going to quickly, paucity of time, I'm going to rush through some of it. The methodology that we have adopted, as I said, standardization and standards have gone a long way in helping us scale. Our industry participation in our methodology is an extremely vital element. Our industry participates right from admissions to designing courses to creating labs, whether it's a retail store within our center or a hospital within our center or a hotel room within our center. These are labs in which students actually learn their skills, or even vehicles within our center to be repaired and to work on the parts, and the labs are set up for auto technicians as well. There are guest lectures that the industry does. There are assessments and placements right through the value chain. Industry participates. We pride ourselves in the way we govern the whole enterprise, which is a very corporate learning that has been brought into the social sector, data-driven governance. We actually look at how organizations or centers are performing using hard data that is digitized through technology, which is a unique capability in the social sector, if you ask me. We have a good quality framework, uh, which is inspired by the Malcolm Baldrige quality framework, which has been adopted within STRIVE, which is something that we are also sharing with others within the skill development space. And technology is widely used. Technology has helped us standardize processes. It is a single version of truth. And it has helped us help our learners access capabilities anytime and anywhere. Some capabilities like assessments, they do assessments on their mobile phone, and this has come extremely handy in COVID times. During lockdowns, we continued the learning sessions as well as assessments and certifications. Counseling tools that we participated with various or partnered with various organizations and built our own counseling tools as well. With the mobile based learning, a lot of our courses are digitized. But mind you, friends, skills cannot be taught or cannot be learned only through a computer. You need to practice the skills. So it's a combination of online learning as well as practicing, which is what we call as blended learning. That is what we have adopted. Our attendance happens through facial recognition when it is within our labs. So these are just some of the examples of technology implemented within STRIVE. Now, in the current, in the last 1 year, these are the three areas that we are significantly focusing on, and this is in line with what the government focuses as well. Healthcare, digital, and informal, three sectors that are extremely important to us today. Not that the other sectors are not. Hospitality is extremely important. Having said that, employment and hospitality for this next few months will be a challenge. Retail is important, banking is important. We have capabilities in those, but these are the new ones that we really want to focus and have deep capabilities in the coming days. I'm not going to spend a lot of time in explaining the models, but the sectors I thought was important. And if any of the friends across the globe would like to collaborate, can reach out to us for this. Awards you have seen, I'm going to skip it. I'm going to move on to the second piece, which is technology at STRIVE. And or third piece, sorry. I started with introducing why skill development is important, then what work we have done and impact that we have had, and how we are using technology. I thought we could just do quick 5 minutes on how technology is being used at STRIVE. So you saw earlier, it is across the value chain. Some examples is, I thought, the best way. So we are using, all our students are registered on our platform, and their addresses are there. So a simple capability of using Google Maps with the students who are registered on our platform gives our mobilizers are individuals who go into community, walk into community, create awareness, create the demand for our courses. And these are the ones for whom technology like this comes in extremely handy. It's a simple Google map on which they can see which learner has come from where and what is he or she doing right now. And that comes in handy when you walk into a community and you can relate, saying, oh, by the way, आपके ही कॉलोनी में से ये 3 बंदों ने ये कोर्स किया है और आज ये कर रहे हैं. So that is the power of technology that is given to mobilizers today. Youth at STRIVE is an extremely interesting. So after you educate and you relate, the mobilizers basically simply click a picture, save documents, or just enter an Aadhaar card and register students based on your Aadhaar authentication. It's a simple mobile app for registration, which can be used in our mobilization camps. And some of these camps are very big. Some of these camps are basically where 500 youth come into a camp and actually, or used to come into a camp before COVID times. And I'm sure the modus operandi would completely change. But having said that, mobilization camps, technology like this for registration definitely has helped us and continue to help us even in these times when mobilizers go into communities. The third one is, this is interesting now. This is something that we implemented for helping the youth track how they are improving as a holistic individual. We believe that the holistic development, life skills, is extremely important. And we use coaching sessions for nudging and encouraging, motivating the students, the learners, the youth to improve on certain specific goals. And these goals could be one of these 4 that you see on the slide. It could be a behavioral goal, like if there is an irate customer, if there is or if there is, my boss is shouting at me, I will not respond immediately. I will not get angry. I will control my anger. It's a behavioral goal. It could be a cognitive goal that I will exercise on a daily basis. It could be an emotional goal or a social goal. Social goal where those who are hesitant to speak up, I will speak up if there is a thought that I have, if there is an idea that I have in a work setting, I would speak up. So these are goals that students actually pick up. And this is available, a mobile app that is available in various languages. Students set their goals that currently I'm at level 2 or 2 out of 7 times I do this, but I want to go do this 5 out of 7 times or 7 out of 7 times. And so they set their aspirations and they discuss this aspiration with a coach assigned to them. And the coach actually encourages and helps the student track. Now, what happens with this is the learners actually track and have a visible needle movement on how they are improving. And this goes a long way in setting habits and helping students improve. A simple use of technology that we have implemented. I spoke about digital assessments. This is actually helping us build a level of trust across the industry. Industry knows that we are not one of the many skill development organizations who are not serious about assessing students and doling out certificates. We actually seriously assess students for the right skills and knowledge and then give certificates, a certificate that can stand the pressure and the pride of the brand Tata. The next one, this one is more to do with a single version of truth at the analytics platform that we have sitting here right now in Mumbai. I know how many centers have opened up, given that the lockdowns in many places have now eased off. Some centers have opened up. How many students are coming to these centers? I can sitting here know the details of it. So the dashboards really help us manage the scale, and you can see in the map here, the India map, if you can see, I'm not sure if that's visible, that the dots are the representation of where we exist. And so managing the spread of our centers, technology like this has gone a long way. Uh, and some recent ones, this is a chat bot on WhatsApp. We realized that many learners could not be reached on phone by the call center because of their working hours, but WhatsApp as a chat bot is an extremely interesting way, and we have rolled out a capability of doing post placement. We want to stay in touch with our alumni, and the way we do it is through WhatsApp now, not by a person actually chatting, but actually the machine doing the chat with a lot of our alumni. So these are some examples of how technology is being used within Strive. Overall, it is an emerging sector. It is a sector where there are huge number of opportunities for individuals to participate, for organizations to fund, for organizations to invest in this sector, as well as it is a sector that will go a long way in nation building. So I do want to pause here, stop here, and I would love to, I'm going to hand this over back to Doctor, to you for the next part of this webinar.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Such a wonderful, detailed work being done. So much of innovation, so much of creativity, and so much of CSR also. I'm just remarkable. It's remarkable. I must compliment. So final takeaway I will take from you after we have listened to 6 girls for a minute each.
Sure,
And then we
absolutely.
have a final takeaway, final word from your side to the entire global community. Okay, let's start with Jahnavi. Jahnavi, great evening. Unmute your mic, child.
Hello.
Yeah, great evening to you, child. You get 1 minute to just share your vision. What do you want to talk on, beta? What do you want to talk on?
I am going to be speaking on women empowerment.
Okay, women empowerment, but the women is not visible.
Just one moment.
Okay. Yes, now that's great. Quickly, go ahead, beta.
There is no tool for development more effective than the empowerment of women. This was once said by Kofi Annan. Even in this time and age, women empowerment is an important topic that must be discussed. All across the world, women constitute more than half of the population and are yet denied the rights and opportunities that they truly deserve. In India, our cultures and traditions lay a significant emphasis on the pivotal role that is played by women in various forms, in the form of a mother, daughter, sister, friend, teacher, companion, advisor, and so much more. Do we even realize what an important role women play in our lives? Like most of the countries across the world, India too is a patriarchal society where men hold primary power in terms of authority, property rights, and social privileges. This is especially prominent in the rural hinterland where women are confined to their homes and denied the rights and opportunities to education and progress. However, in recent times, women have excelled in various fields. India is a land which has produced women prime minister, president, economists, entrepreneurs, noted engineers and doctors, pilots, and so much more. Imagine, imagine our country developed if women were provided with all the opportunities and rights. To conclude my speech, I would like to quote a famous leader, Margaret Thatcher. If you want something said, ask a man. If you want something done, ask a woman. Thank you.
Wow, that's great. Very powerful. Great.
Thank you.
Khushi, child, great evening. Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, please go ahead, beta.
Good evening, everyone. I'm going to speak on the topic the role of technology in education. I
Great.
would like to begin by quoting Mahatma Gandhi. Live as if you were to die tomorrow, learn as if you were to live forever. Today, more than ever, the role of educational technology in teaching is of great importance because of the use of ICT. Educational technology is a systematic way of conceptualizing the execution and evaluation of the educational process. The educational technology sector is reporting a high rate of growth, although there are a few limitations of technology which exhibit exacerbated inequality in India in the current COVID times. 321 million students have been asked to stay at home in India, although only 38% school kids in India have access to internet. If e-learning is the new normal, the government must go further to address the feasibility of digitalization to ensure equity and equality in education. The role of technology in education is unparalleled in the current COVID times. Distance is no more a barrier, and education can be brought to the students' doorsteps. Continuous learning is possible. This has greatly enhanced efficiency in the education sector. This is mostly due to the students being able to learn faster as they can learn in their own pace. I would like to conclude by stating that technology could never replace great teachers, but technology in the hands of great teachers can be transformational. Thank you so much.
Wow, wow, that's great. God bless you, beta. Avantika, good evening. Great evening,
So,
Avantika. Please go ahead.
good evening, everyone present here. So,
Yes.
my topic for today is my dream career. So I would start by quoting Confucius. He said, "Choosing a job you love, and you will never have to work a day in your life." So, sir, coming to the point that what is career basically? So, a career can be defined as a career path which includes in education, training, and work experience. It can be from moving from one job to another job. So, I personally believe a dream career can be fulfilled if one leads with their present strengths. They should evaluate their past and not and they should avoid the dead end. One should talk to people in order to know about their dream job, and they should first take classes in order to know what their actual interest lies. And for coming to my and dream career is a very subjective topic, so I would like to share, with your permission, so I would love to share own my dream career, my subjective dream career. My dream career is to, as an army aspirant, I want to join in the army in future. I even if I fail, so I would love to be a hotelier in the ITC group or chain of hotels, and become a front officer personnel, and then joining or opening my own cafeteria or a restaurant someday, and be great. Thank you so much. And I
You
would
want
end by
you want to go
concluding.
to ITC today. You've got a Taj Hotels. You've got they have come over here. Okay, Devanshi.
So
Yes, Devanshi. Great evening. Today you have got Taj Group of Hotel Child over here.
I'm so sorry, sir. I meant to say Taj. Sorry, sir. I'm very sorry, sir. Thank you.
Okay, Devanshi.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, beta.
Yes. A very good evening to one and all present here. The potential of the global youth population can easily transform into an asset for their own societies. In a country like India, where 34% of its population is between the ages of 15 to 29 years, the youth is a driving force and can make or break the future. The question which stands in front of us is, what does today's youth want? So, what does it want? According to me, the answer to it is freedom to voice out our opinions without being judged or scared of the consequences, and being heard in the society instead of facing negligence. Independence to take our own decisions, independence to set a trend, and independence to behave. Getting opportunities to become self reliant, which aid us in our personal development, a work culture which suits our lifestyle, and equal treatment of all religions, races, castes, and gender, and giving an equal opportunity to everyone of every citizen of the globe. not depriving anyone of their basic human rights in any corner of the world. Tolerance towards humans, as we see the mental health awareness popularizing among social institutions and social groups. Tolerance towards animals and animal cruelty, as we see a trend of veganism surging currently, and tolerance towards environment as eco-friendly and sustainable products are on the rise. And lastly, welfare of all economical groups in the society. Arise, awake, and stop not until the goal is reached. That is what we as youths have been aspired by. Thank you.
Wow, you quoted Swami Vivekanandji. Great. Okay, Ranita. Great evening, child. Good evening.
Good
Ranita.
evening.
Yes, please go ahead, beta.
Education is the most powerful weapon which one can use to change the world. Rightly said by the great Nelson Mandela. Good evening. I'm Ranita Ranjan and I will be speaking on the topic Purpose of Education and its Relevance. So, what is education? Education means a change in man's conduct of life and attaining the ability to choose the right option in any problem he faces. Just imagine a world where you can't speak, write, or understand what a person is saying. It became possible for us only because we are educated. Education for anyone begins at home. Either it is taking your first step or saying your first word. Therefore, to say education is important would be an understatement. It is observed that countries with high literacy rate have better quality of life. But how is education even relevant in the society? There are many factors to this. Firstly, it affects the chances of employment for people. A highly educated individual is more likely to get a good job than a person with no education. Education helps in improving and refining the speech of a person, making people understand technology better, bringing a sense of maturity and sophistication. Above all, learning the values of discipline and time management is what education helps us do. These are just few things that are required for a good and quality life. Now, I would like to conclude by saying education is a path from darkness to light. It is a hope for a good life. So let's never have deficit of education as it might lead to the deficit of hope in the society. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you, beta. God bless you. I always request that Nelson Mandela ji shouldn't have used a word to, weapon. It should be called tool because coming from armed forces, I always say never use a word called weapon. Always use the word tool. That's what we discussed with yesterday's speaker, also Dr. Maniji. Okay, Malaika. Great evening, beta. Please come.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, child, let's hear you.
Hi.
Yes, go ahead.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Malaika Malya, and my topic for today is water conservation. Now, every single one of us here would have had that one lesson in science class about how all living things survive on just 1% of the overall water content on planet Earth. There are constant reminders about how dangerously low our water reserves are getting, and how the little things like no long showers and full dishwashers can help. But what about things out of our control? The current pandemic has brought about incessant hand washing. The PPE and masks and every other protective gear is all use and throw, and their mass production and demand is using up much more water. The truth is that we are skirting extinction now. David Attenborough's documentary and Sweating in the Middle of December tell us just that. It is said that the war that will end the world will be fought over the remaining precious water resources. I don't mean to be all doom and gloom here. I just want to put across exactly how big of a crisis we are in right now. If every household did their part in saving water, we could save as much as 16 billion gallons of water in a day. Advances can and have been made in every field possible: industrial, agricultural, commercial, household, social. There's rainwater harvesting, water reuse and recycle. It's all being implemented. So, yes, there is definitely hope. The only thought I would like to leave with all of you is that the time span in which we can turn things around and ensure the human race survives its own greediness is steadily shrinking. Our planet, our home, it needs all the help it can get. Thank you.
Wonderful, beta. Every drop of the water is to be saved by all of us. That is something very important. So, with these words, ladies and gentlemen, let's get back our distinguished guest of the evening, Mr. Ameya Vanjari-ji. Let you conclude the event. Let you give the final word to all the children. And I would request all the kids, please switch on your cameras because it's a global live telecast, and I want the whole world should see. You all are the celebrities this evening, child. You all have worked hard. You all have shared your thought process. You have given so much of input. And then, of course, right at the center, we have got Mr. Ameya Vanjari-ji. Please, let's share your thought and give the concluding remarks from your side.
Thank you, Dr. Sharma. Thank you. It is amazing to hear the thoughts. It was wonderful to listen to everyone, each one of you who have shared your thoughts. I sincerely congratulate you for coming to a platform and a forum like this and sharing the awareness and the passion of wanting to do good on a particular topic for the country, whether it be women empowerment, whether it be sustainability, whether it be water conservation or education. It was just heartening to see this. I keep saying that there is so much to be done in each of these topics, and especially in skill development or education, there is so much to be done. But I am convinced that with the youth like you all, the future for our country is bright. I'm sure there are hundreds of you like you that are there in the country, and if you really follow the passion that you have, the future is really bright. That is the final thought, Doctor, that I would like to share with all of you and the audience. Thank you for the opportunity.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Future is very bright with all the kids like you. That was come from Mr. Ameya Vanjari. And we would like to work very closely with you on the skills, on teachers empowerment, couple of other programs, train the trainers, self-employment,
Look
every
forward.
courses you have given. I have noted down all the points, and as a soldier, we will get back to you soon. We wish to work with you very closely. You're doing a wonderful job. Your organization is doing a commendable work. We wish you all the best, all the success, all the luck, and all my children keep growing, keep doing well. Future belongs to all of you. That's what the Tata Consultancy Services also has conveyed. So enjoy yourself, and now go for Prime Minister's live. Watch what the Honorable Prime Minister of India